Being here at Farnborough leaves me a little bit conflicted. I've always been a huge admirer of human ingenuity and inventiveness. It's enriched and improved our lives in so many ways. But when it comes to making aviation truly sustainable and climate friendly, I wonder if it's met its match. But this is a start. It's a battery-driven air taxi, capable of taking 4 passengers about 100 miles, so not really denting bulk passenger transport. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but it is very James Bondy. It is British-built and has some high-profile admirers who'll soon have more time for a getaway. The government has just published updated plans to end the climate impact of aviation, with a promise to never let the sector's emissions exceed 2019 levels and make domestic flight net zero by 2040. It's called Jet Zero. Hello, Prime Minister. Tom Heap from Sky. Are we going fast enough towards low-carbon aviation?
Jet Zero is going very well, but we can always go faster.
But looking around the show, it's clear that reality is well behind rhetoric. This is the only zero-emission plane that could carry me over Britain today. Got to clear my leg past the joystick.
That's it.
Oh,
Once you're in.
this is comfy. Oh, it's nice.
We got the standard instrument panel with the 6-pack.
I'm tempted to say chocks away. When it comes to getting the big beasts airborne in a climate-friendly way, we've barely got off the ground. When you look out of these, can you tell which ones have got Rolls-Royce engines with them?
Well, there'll be big ones.
Time to talk to the boss of one of the big engine makers. Warren, is sustainable aviation really a contradiction in terms? It's like sort of dry water or virginal pregnancy?
It's certainly not that much of a contradiction in terms. In fact, it's our raison d'etre at the moment is to ensure that society can benefit from all the benefits that flying has brought for the last 100 years, but ensure that we can do it in a way that doesn't cook the planet in future.
Warren says that powering big planes like this on zero-carbon fuels like electricity or hydrogen is unlikely for 20 years. So the current suggestion is to make liquid hydrocarbon fuel not from oil, but either from plants, that would be biofuel, or synthetically from captured CO2 and green hydrogen. These are known, somewhat optimistically, as sustainable aviation fuels.
If I want to buy some sustainable aviation fuel today, the chances are the source of carbon is a biofuel of some kind. The real answer isn't bio, because we won't have the scale, we're not really solving the problem, you're running into issues of biodiversity and all of those sorts of...
You certainly are. I mean, the land take to supply biofuel for aviation is extraordinary.
That's why it's not sustainable. I think it has a role to play as a sort of small transition, because we have to get the sort of biofuel ecosystems up and running to then eventually move over to synthetic.
We haven't got the land for biofuels for aircraft.
No, we haven't, and that's why you need to do direct carbon capture and green hydrogen production to put the synthetic aviation fuel together. That's the only way we're going to get scale without running into the biodiversity challenges.
Direct air capture and green hydrogen are technologies in their infancy, and they're very expensive. Are people going to have to pay more for climate-friendly flight? Surely that's inevitable.
Ultimately, if people want to continue to enjoy the benefits of aviation and do it in a carbon-free way, there's going to be an increase in cost.
The aviation business prides itself on achieving what was once thought to be impossible. It gets these things to fly, after all. But with current technology, connecting the planet without cooking it looks a little pie in the sky.